That Saturday evening, my folks were out to visit my grandma, so I had the whole house to myself. I figured it was the perfect time to finally watch The Conjuring without Mom freaking out about the psychological impact on a 15-year-old. I made this huge bowl of popcorn, crashed on the couch, and got about 30 minutes in when someone knocked on the door. When I looked through the peephole, a girl was standing on my porch wearing a green Girl Scout sash and pigtails. She had this huge smile that was way too big for her face. Girl Scouts sold cookies all the time. It wasn't meant to be anything special, but some just didn't fit right in. Girl Scouts are usually like 10 years old, but this girl looked at least 20. She had full makeup on, mascara and lipstick, but was dressed like a little kid. I almost didn't open the door. My gut told me not to, but then I thought I was being paranoid from watching too many horror movies. Plus, she was just selling cookies. What's the worst that could happen? I opened the door.
Hi! We're raising money for the troops. Want to buy some cookies?
Up close, she looked even weirder. Her makeup was caked on, covering what looked like acne scars. The pigtails were messy as if she had tied them in a hurry, and her eyes didn't match her smile. Sure, I said. How much?
$5 a box.
She held up Thin Mints, and her smile got wider.
You're cute. You know that?
My heartbeat picked up. Thanks, I said, reaching for my wallet. I'll just take one box. She leaned closer, and I could smell her perfume. It was heavy and sweet, that kind that sticks in your throat.
You know, I've got more varieties in my van, if you want to pick your favorite.
Everything in my head was telling me to say no and close the door, but I was 15, stupid, and some part of me was flattered that an older girl was paying attention to me. Yeah, let me check them out. She giggled, turned, and walked toward the curb, where a white van was sitting with its engine running. As we got closer, I noticed that instead of the windows, the van had solid white panels in the back.
They're right here,
the girl said, reaching for the side door. She slid the door open. Before I even figured out what I was looking at, hands shot out of the dark and grabbed me. One yanked my arm, another grabbed my shirt, and suddenly I was being pulled inside. I tried to scream, but a hand clamped over my mouth. My feet barely touched the ground before they shoved me all the way in. The doors slammed shut, and the van lurched forward. Inside, one of them pinned me down while the other went through my pockets. They took my phone first, then my wallet. I was wearing my new Jordans my dad just bought me. One of them yanked those off too, laughing. The new edition, he whistled. Please, I sobbed, hating how scared I sounded. Please just let me go. I won't tell anyone. The girl was sitting in the passenger seat. She smiled as she pulled off the pigtails, and without them, she looked at least 10 years older, harder, and meaner.
Stupid, horny teenagers,
she said, lighting a cigarette. She took a drag, then turned around and pressed the lit end against my arm. I screamed. That's when the guy started hitting me in the gut, face, and ribs. They weren't trying to knock me out. They just wanted to hurt me. I curled up trying to protect myself, but there wasn't enough room. Every time I moved, another punch landed. I tasted blood. My nose was bleeding, dripping onto the van floor. One punch caught me in the eye, and I saw stars. Another hit my ribs, and I heard something crack. The pain was so bad I couldn't breathe. They were laughing, making jokes about how I was crying and how easy it was. I don't know how long it lasted. Everything blurred together into pain and the smell of cigarette smoke and beer. After a few hours, the van stopped. One of them opened the door, and they threw me out onto the street. I landed hard, scraping my hands and knees on the pavement. Stay down, one said. Don't look up, and if you go to the cops, we know where you live. The van peeled away while I lay there on the street. My whole body hurt. My face felt swollen, and blood dripping from my nose onto the sidewalk. When I finally sat up, I had no idea where I was. It was some neighborhood I'd never seen. A woman came out of one of the houses with her phone.
Oh my God, are you okay? I'm calling 911.
I tried to say I was fine, but when I opened my mouth, more blood came out. My ribs hurt so bad I could barely breathe. She made me sit on her porch while we waited. The paramedic said I needed the hospital. I called my parents. My mom cried when she saw my face. My dad looked like he wanted to kill someone. Cops came and took a statement, but I couldn't tell them much except that the van was white. I didn't see the plate, and there were at least 2 of them with the fake scout girl. I spent 2 days in the hospital. I had 3 cracked ribs, a concussion, and a broken nose. The bruises took weeks to heal, but the physical stuff wasn't the worst part. The worst part was living afterward. Every time someone knocks on the door, I freeze. Every white van I see makes my heart race. I have nightmares about being in that van, about those fists in the dark. My therapist says it's PTSD. She's teaching me ways to feel safe again. But some nights, I still wake up sweating, convinced I can smell smoke and beer. The cops never caught them. As far as I know, they're still out there, knocking on doors, looking for stupid, horny teenagers to follow a stranger to their van. My mom's a nurse, so she works a lot of night shifts, and I'm used to being home alone by myself. It never really bothered me. The house felt safe. We had a good neighborhood, solid locks, and streetlights that actually worked. Lately, though, her boyfriend Steven had been staying over sometimes. He worked at the same hospital, and Mom said it was nice having another adult around when she worked late. He seemed fine. That night was supposed to be like any other. I was doing homework around 9:30 when someone knocked on the door. I looked through the peephole and saw Steven standing there in his work scrubs, looking tired. I opened the door but kept the chain lock on.
Hey, Steven. Mom's at work.
I know, he said, sounding apologetic. Sorry to bother you. I left my backpack here yesterday. My meds are in it, and I really need them. He did look pale, and I remember seeing his backpack on the living room chair earlier.
Okay, hold on.
I unlatched the chain and let him in. He went straight for the living room, muttering thanks. Something about the way he moved made me uneasy, so I grabbed my phone and called Mom while walking toward the kitchen. She answered on the second ring.
Hey, sweetie. Everything okay? Steven's here picking up his backpack. He said he needs his medication.
Maya,
Mom sounded panicked.
lock yourself in your room right now. We broke up this afternoon. He's sick in the head. I told him not to come to the house.
My blood ran cold. I turned around and Steven was standing in the doorway. Instead of his backpack, he was holding Mom's handgun. Hang up the phone, Maya, he hissed, shaking the gun in his hand.
Maya, what's happening?
Mom was screaming through the phone. I ended the call with shaking hands. Steven stepped closer, and I backed up against the counter. You know what your mother told me today? She said I'm sick and I need help, so I'll show her exactly how sick I am. His smile was ugly.
Steve.
Get on your knees, he said.
What?
I won't say it twice. Get on your knees. I obeyed. He pressed the barrel against my forehead, making me shiver. I could see his finger on the trigger.
Please don't kill me.
I sobbed, squeezing my eyes shut. You know, Maya, he murmured, crouching down to my level. I think I'd rather have you than your stuck-up mother. It's a shame I gotta kill you now. My mind went into overdrive. If I didn't do something right away, he'd kill me. I searched my brain for anything that'd help me escape. Then it struck me. I nodded hurriedly, letting real tears stream down my face.
You're right.
I choked out.
My mom, she's awful. She doesn't see how good you are.
Steven's expression shifted. What?
She never appreciated you. She's always working and leaves me alone. She's selfish. She wouldn't take care of me the way you would.
My voice cracked, but I kept going.
I hate her, Steven.
His grip on the gun loosened slightly. He was listening.
I hate living like this.
I looked up at him, forcing myself to meet his eyes.
You're the only one who's ever really been here for me.
His shoulders relaxed slightly. Do you really mean that?
Of course I do.
I reached out slowly, putting my hand on his arm.
I wouldn't. I want to be with you. Please.
Steven lowered the gun. His eyes were still bloodshot, but now they were slightly soft. He cupped my face with one hand, the other still holding the gun at his side. "I knew it," he whispered. "I knew you were different." He pulled me into a hug, and I felt the cold metal of the gun pressing against my ribs. Every muscle in my body screamed to run, but I hugged him back. "We could leave tonight, start fresh," he said into my hair. My heart was pounding so fast I thought he'd heard it.
Okay, but I need to grab some things first. IDs, clothes, my phone charger, stuff I'll need.
Steven pulled back, studying my face. For a horrible moment, I thought he saw through it. Then he smiled. "All right, but I'm coming with you."
Of course.
I forced a smile. We walked down the hallway together. Steven kept the gun in his hand. His other hand gripped my shoulder. Inside my bedroom, I started opening drawers with shaking hands, grabbed my stuff, and shoved it in my bag. Steven stood in the doorway, watching my every move. "Don't take too long," he said. I nodded. My vision was starting to blur. The room felt like it was spinning. I could feel sweat dripping down my back. Then I saw my bathroom door.
I need to use the bathroom real quick. Before we go, it's a long drive, right?
Steven's eyes narrowed. "Make it quick." I walked toward the bathroom, legs trembling. My hand found the doorknob. "Leave the door open," he said. I froze.
Steven, please, I'm embarrassed.
He stared at me for a long moment, then sighed. "You've got 2 minutes." I stepped inside and carefully pushed the door shut. The lock clicked so quietly I barely heard it myself. Then I pulled out my phone and called Mom.
Mom!
I whispered, crouching in the bathtub.
He has your gun. He wants to take me away. He's in my room right now. I already called the police. Hang in there. We're coming.
She said, her voice tight with panic. "Maya, you about done in there?" He was right outside the door. I didn't answer. "Maya!" The doorknob rattled violently. "Open this door!" I pressed myself against the wall, phone still at my ear. I heard sirens in the distance. They were faint, but getting louder by the second. Steven heard them too. "You called the cops?" he yelled. "Open the door, you liar! I'll kill you!" He was kicking the door. I could see the wood cracking near the lock. He'd nearly brought down the door, but the cops got in time. The kicking stopped. Steven's footsteps ran back. There was more shouting. I could hear furniture crash before silence took over.
Maya?
Mom whispered.
It's okay, sweetie. You can open the door.
I unlocked it and fell into her arms. She was crying, holding me so tight I could barely breathe. The police had caught Steven trying to run out back. He was on the ground, handcuffed and screaming. When he saw me, his face contorted with rage. "I'll find you, Maya! When I get out, I'm coming for both of you!" They dragged him away, charged him with breaking and entering, unlawful possession of a firearm, attempted kidnapping, and terroristic threats. We moved to a different town that summer. Mom got a new house, and I got into a new school. We didn't tell anyone our address. My mom got a concealed carry permit. We have a security system that would wake the dead. But even now, with him locked up, I can't feel safe. Because one day, maybe in 5 years or maybe 10, he's getting out, and he'd come after us. It was a Friday night in late October. My parents drove across town for a wedding and weren't coming back until after midnight. I didn't mind being alone. Our neighborhood was quite safe. I was in my room watching YouTube when I heard loud noises outside. At first, I tried to ignore it, but the woman's voice got louder and more desperate. She was screaming something I couldn't make out. I got up and went to my window. My bedroom faces the Petersons' house across the street. The couple had moved in maybe 2 months ago. The guy, Liam, was tall, in his mid-30s, and always wore workout clothes. His wife, Pierre, was younger by a decade and friendly. I'd seen her being cordial passerby. Their kitchen window was right in front of mine. The lights were on so I could see everything. Liam was screaming at his wife, jabbing his finger in her face. Pierre was crying and backing away like she was scared of him. I should have closed my blinds and gone back to bed, but I couldn't move. Liam grabbed Pierre by the neck and slapped her. She went down hard, hitting the floor with a thud I swear I heard through the glass. But he wasn't done. He picked up one of those big kitchen knives from the counter, dropped to his knees beside her. She threw her hands up, screaming. He brought the knife down, once, twice, again. I lost count. He then wiped his face and it got smeared in blood. His wife's blood, no doubt. For a couple of seconds, I stood terrified, not being able to move. Liam suddenly looked up at my window. I was frozen. My heart was pounding in my ear. Slowly, Liam walked to his window, pulled the curtain aside, and leaned close to the glass. Now, he was staring at me like he was memorizing my face. I ducked down. My hand shook so badly I could barely get my phone out. When I looked again, their kitchen light was off. The whole house was dark. I called 911. The dispatcher answered and I told her what I saw. She told me to stay calm, asked for my address. Halfway through, I heard footsteps on gravel coming from the side of my house where the back door was. I whispered, panicked, "He's outside my house." She told me to stay on the line, that officers were coming, but the footsteps got closer. Suddenly, the back door handle rattled. "I saw you, kid. I know you saw me too." I was frozen on the bedroom floor, phone against my ear. The killer was now at my door. "I called the police. They're on their way." He laughed. "They're not here yet, though." He started kicking the door, and the whole frame shook. The wood started splintering. "Open the door, Evan. Let's talk about this." "I know what I saw." The kicking stopped. "No, what you saw was a prank. We were filming. Pierre is fine. Open up and I'll take you to her." "You're lying." "Open the door." The kicking started again, harder. He was throwing himself against it. I crawled into my closet and wedged behind my winter coats. The kicking continued. Then the glass broke. He'd smashed the window. I could hear his heavy boots on the kitchen tile. He got in. The footsteps moved slowly, checking rooms. I bit down on my sleeve to stay quiet. My whole body was shaking. Tears were running down my face. Just when his boots stopped outside the closet door, I could hear the cop cars pulling over. He stood for a few seconds, probably thinking whether to kill me or run away. Thank God he chose to run away. The back door slammed and I knew Liam's gone. I could hear cops screaming and telling to follow someone. Minutes later, I got out of the closet and ran to the door. I could see two cops searching the living room. I told them everything. The cops showed me the broken door, the shattered window with blood on the glass where he'd cut himself while getting in. Then we went to his house. It was dark. The cops made me wait while they went in, flashlights cutting through. A cop told me not to come closer, but I could already see through the window. Pierre's body was lying still on the kitchen floor. Her eyes were open. Her blood was everywhere, on the walls, pooled on the tile. The cops asked everything. What did he look like? What was he wearing? I told them what I remembered. They took pictures, collected evidence, called more units. One detective told me that the husband thought his wife was cheating. Other neighbors told the cops that Liam had been paranoid for weeks. They often heard him fighting with his wife. "You're the only witness we have," the detective said. "Until we catch him, be careful. Don't go anywhere alone. Keep your doors locked." My parents came home around 1 to police cars everywhere and me in an ambulance with a blanket. My mom cried. My dad kept asking if I was hurt. That was 3 weeks ago. Liam's still on the run. The cops are looking for him everywhere. He disappeared that night, and now he's out there knowing what I look like, knowing where I live. We got new locks. Dad installed a security system. I'm not allowed home alone. My mom sleeps in my room because I wake up every night thinking I hear footsteps. thinking I hear tapping. Sometimes when I'm lying in bed, I hear it. Tap, tap, tap. Just the wind of the house settling, but my heart stops every time. The detectives say they're doing everything they can, that it's just a matter of time. But time means he's still out there. Time means every night I wonder if tonight's the night he comes back. Time means I'm the only one who saw what happened, the only one who can identify him. And as long as I'm alive, he's not safe, which means I'm not safe either.